Greetings to everyone around the world. I'm Moira Allan talking to you from Paris for the Pass It On Network. And I'm having a conversation this morning with Hunter Leonard, who's all the way down south in Australia. Hunter, where exactly are you in Australia?
Well, I'm in Sydney at the moment, but I hail from Melbourne and I was born in Canberra. So I've moved a little around in Australia.
And I'm in touch with Hunter because I learned that he's just written a book about the experienced economy. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's called Generation Experience, and in it we're sort of examining the skills that a business owner who's in their 40s, 50s and beyond needs to start a business when they decide to after having a life in corporate.
And what exactly inspired you to get involved in this particular field?
Well, I was looking for a way to expand my existing marketing business, and one of my mentors, who's in his early 60s himself, said, have you thought about having mature age people in your network? And I hadn't thought of any because I wasn't thinking about age particularly, but within a couple of weeks of him making that comment and me doing some research, I ended up in the offices of the Age Discrimination Commissioner here in Australia, and they shared with me some, from my viewpoint, horrifying statistics about how we are disrespecting the maturity, wisdom and experience of that particular age group. And so I decided to pivot my business to provide some assistance and create opportunity for that group of people, which numbers more than 100,000 in Australia that are going through that transition into mature age and suffering from the age discrimination.
And does it talk both to sort of the younger part of that older generation that maybe find themselves kicked out of their businesses or their jobs because they're redundant, and as well to retired people?
Yeah, well, we obviously try not to be ageist in a reverse way, because entrepreneurs in Australia can be of any age beyond that. In fact, mature entrepreneurs can be in their 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s and beyond. The conversations I've had, one of our first advisors is in his 60s. One of the great collaborators we have in this particular market in Australia is in his 70s. Both passionate people with great skills and both definitely wanting to continue working and running their business. So we definitely speak to the skills are transferable for any age. If somebody was in their 20s and wanted to read the book, they'd learn how to run a business. But we take the viewpoint that the focus is to help mature age, and it doesn't really matter what age group that is. But yes, it covers those that are in that transition, perhaps for redundancy, and others that maybe later in life have decided they need some further income and need more financial security, and that business is the method that they want to use to get that.
So, Hunter, if I read your book, what would I be able to do after that?
Well, you would know what it's going to take to start and run a business. Even if you're running one now, many business owners, we've surveyed more than 10,000 business owners in Australia, so we know what keeps them awake at night. You know, what problems do they run into running businesses? Because no one ever teaches us how to do this stuff, right? We get thrown in the deep end through our own execution to say, I'm going to run a business, and then all of a sudden we realise, hey, this is a bit tougher than I thought it was going to be. So we know that, say, 40% of business owners have problems with cash flow, 40% have problems trying to find new customers through marketing. Many of them have issues with their staff, that sort of thing. So the book deliberately takes them through some very straightforward and simple processes and skills that they need to then just be able to look across their whole business and start something successfully, as opposed to going into it blind.
Super. So would you say it's a book or a handbook?
It's a bit of both. It's definitely a book where I share a lot of experiences and case studies, but there's also practical exercises in it. So I ask the person through the book to then reflect on each chapter and the takeout things that they should do. So by the end of the book, they should have quite a long list of ideas and questions and things that they need to do to be able to get the business started.
And have you ever thought of going international?
Well, to be honest, I didn't think about it initially, but when I started writing on LinkedIn about this topic, and just to put it in perspective, I've been in marketing for many years and I've done presentations, probably 600 presentations to more than 15,000 business owners. So people know me as a marketing guy. As soon as I started talking about mature age discrimination and helping mature people have opportunities for work and financial security, the response to my posts went ballistic, like literally 10 or 20 times the number of shares and comments that I was getting on my marketing topics. So I realized I'd hit a nerve. And within about 3 or 4 months of starting to write those articles, I had individuals in 7 countries call me and say, we have the same problem and we want to know when you're coming to Canada, the UK, New Zealand, Morocco, etc. So I definitely want to help now on a global scale. So I'll be looking for people to sort of partner with in other countries. I think given that many Western cultures have the same issue, it'd be great to be able to share what we've learned here and make some impact elsewhere. The more individuals we can help, the happier I'll be.
Super. We at the Pass It On Network, we have a special interest group on economic security. And I shall talk to them about that, and I'm sure they'll get in touch with you.
Lovely. Well, I'll send you a copy of the book so you can pass it on.
Thank you. That's our best name, Pass It On, because we firmly believe that seniors, that's exactly what we're there for. We have the experience and I think also one thing that strikes me is that we have far less ego at this stage of our lives.
Correct.
And we're very open to helping and mentoring or just doing the good that we can around us.
Yeah.
So a final something you would like to say to us?
Yeah, well, I was going to say the other day I was having a conversation and I asked the guys that was with me what they thought of this. It came to me about 5 o'clock one morning when I was about to go to a breakfast meeting. And I said to them, can you imagine a world where we didn't have experience? And I can tell you, they all stopped and went, oh my gosh. The whole world is built on experience, so we can't ignore it and disrespect it. And where most of the wealth of experience is with our mature and senior groups, we have to take advantage of that, both for their good and for ours.
Collaboration.
Totally.
Super.
Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed, Hunter, and I absolutely look forward to reading your book, and we'll be talking about it. Thank you very much.
Good on you. See you later. Cheers.
Bye.